Hey there, I'm Aditya Shrivastava. I hope you are doing good. I'm doing absolutely great. So let's start our journey towards a better and a meaningful life. Everyone who enjoys some level of success in their life has been through the toughest of their time. An anonymous once said, I have never met a successful person with an easy past. The message is clear. If you're dealing with a difficult time in your life and you decide to stay in the game rather than giving up like most people do, you'll get to your destination in the near future, and that's for sure. In this episode of Breaking the Barrier, I'll walk you through some of the reasons which hold most of us from achieving what we desire. Also, we'll be looking at the ways to overcome the fear of failure and how to deal with the failure if you have had one. So without wasting any time, let's get started. The fear of failure. Fear kills more dreams than failure will ever will. The fear of failure is the number one cause of our delayed success. Rather, this is our biggest enemy which stops us even before we begin. One of the most important factors which describes your success is your ability to overcome the fear of failure. Before we begin the solution of this problem, we need to understand one simple thing. That is what actually is fear. To make things simpler and easier to understand, I have picked up some definitions from the web. It's nothing but false evidence coming true. Forget everything and run. Or face everything and rise. Long story short, fear is an emotion induced by perceived danger or threat, which causes psychological changes and ultimately behavioral changes, such as fleeing, hiding, or freezing from perceived traumatic events. Fear in human beings may occur in response to a certain stimulus occurring in the present or in the anticipation or expectation of a future threat perceived as a risk. Now that we know what a fear is, so let me tell you how to get out of this and move towards the next step that takes us closer to our success. Living a life avoiding failure does only one thing for you. It never gives you the opportunity to see what you're truly capable of. David Goggins. Step 1. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. We all have some failures in the past which hold us back from achieving what we want to. So telling yourself that it's just a defeat and there are many more ways to get through this is important, as it tells your mind that you can achieve success and your goals and there is a higher margin for your success. Step 2. Challenge your own thoughts and debunk your fear. When you criticize your thoughts that hold you back, you will have a clear image that what is it that you need to do the most to get out of this trap, and the trap here is your fear of failure. Just question your thoughts, you will have a clear mind, and then you can move ahead. Step number 3. If your dreams seem too bad or too dangerous to fail on, I recommend you to have a few backup plans ready. And even if your dream is very small, and making some backup plans makes it easier for your brain to actually work towards the goal rather than thinking of what may happen if you fail. This actually clears up your mind that I just need to accomplish the goal. I have a backup plan to keep me when I fail. Step number 4. Imagine all the things that you will have once you achieve the goal. This will make the fear appear small against your dreams and will make you feel relaxed and confident. Last, and the step 5. Don't be so stressed. Even if you fail, you end up doing something and the experience will help you somewhere in your life. Pat yourself that you at least tried doing something. As APJ Abdul Kalam has once said, failure is nothing but first attempt in learning. Let's talk failure here. Failure, defeat, destruction, despair. These are some of the words that we think when our lives are crashing down in front of our eyes. Failure can be catastrophic. It can be a work havoc and can take us on a mental and an emotional trip that we would much rather not to go on. But failure has a purpose. There is a reason that we fail in life. When we are in the midst of the pain, we oftentimes cannot see the reason. We cannot witness the bigger picture when we can only see the hurt in front of our eyes. Let's be serious. Failure hurts. To put it straight, it's a painful experience that many of us try to avoid. Often, its effect can be long lasting, leaving a mark in our minds and creating a mental obstacle that can be difficult to overcome. But failure is also necessary. Now we'll be talking about the importance of failure in our life. When we are going through it, it's hard to see the big picture. And it's hard to overcome the fear of failure, or it's hard to overcome failure when all we can see is pain and our life going down the hill right in front of our eyes. I know just how much it hurts to fail and to do it on a massive scale. Failure is nothing for you if you follow these steps I'm going to share with you. Step number 1. Realize that nothing worthwhile will come easy. We are such an instant gratification society. We want things and we want them right now. Why should we have to wait when we have on-demand everything from fast food to high-speed internet access, along with a growing impatience for just about everything? It's no wonder why failure hurts so much. We are so used to getting what we want and getting it quickly that we don't realize how much work and effort it's going to take to achieve something notable. It takes time. But during that time, as we make the journey towards our goal, we build character and reach new understandings, possibly even discover a deep meaning to our lives. Step 2. Ignore the little men, because they will be out in full force. The human mind works tirelessly to avoid pain. And that's true. In fact, it does just about everything to avoid pain in any capacity. Part of the pain of failing has to do with dealing with other people telling you, "I told you so. You should have listened to me." And quitting while you were ahead would have been a smarter move. The little men will be out in full force, but don't listen to them. Ignore their calls and their cries to celebrate your demise. And just put your head towards slugging away. Just realize that people will always be there to celebrate your demise, but the true friends will be there to celebrate your successes and help, inspire, and push you to achieve your goals. Success leaves clues. Search for them high and low. While failure might be difficult, it's also a time when we tend to search for clues, because success leaves clues. Seek and you shall find. Search for someone whose success you're trying to emulate. Success leaves clues. Search for them high and low. While failure might be difficult, it's also a time when we tend to search for clues, because your success leaves clues. Seek and you shall find some. Search for someone whose success you're trying to incorporate in whatever field it is you're trying to achieve your goal in. Then look for clues. What did they do? How long did it take? How many times did they fail? People simply don't understand and realize that some of the most successful people have failed the most times. But the most significant distinction is that the people didn't give up. That's the biggest difference between those that succeed and those that don't. That's their unrelenting spirit of persistence and their work ethic. Look at it as a chance to face down your fears. Sometimes it isn't even the failure itself that scares people. It's the fear of failing that holds them back from doing something, as we have discussed earlier. But overcoming failure is also a chance to face down your fears. It's a chance to overcome that innate desire to run far away and a crow in some corner. The pain, pleasure is very real. We will always do more to avoid pain than we will do to gain pleasure. But when we can leverage that knowledge and overcome our fears to achieve our goals, and a transformational shift occurs, there is an incredible feeling that goes along with it. It's an invaluable experience to pave the way for a lifetime of goals. Use failure as an experience. When we fail, it should be a chance to learn from our mistakes. When we can use that knowledge, put it behind our belts and push forward, some tremendous things can happen, and that's for sure. There are a number of ways we can actually learn from the failure. But in order to do so, we need to look at the failure objectively, use failure as a learning experience. When we fail, it should be a chance to learn from our mistakes. When we can use that knowledge, put it behind our belts and push forward, some tremendous things can happen, and that is for sure. There are a number of ways we can actually learn from the failure, but in order to do so, we need to look at the failure like an outsider is looking at. Ask yourself why you failed. Where did you go wrong? What could you have done better? And what could you have done differently? What was your plan? Was it your plan? Was it because you failed to see something you shouldn't have seen? Did a bad habit do you? I hope you like this video and it helps you in fixing or overcoming your fear of failures, or if you have had a failure, to overcome it. So we'll meet in the next one. Till then, stay safe.